What is going on, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Zachary Likes Comics, and I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Today is Wednesday, March 4th, 2026, which means it is New Comic Book Day, and I am so excited for today's releases, guys. We have Amazing Spider-Man issue number 23 coming out. We have Daredevil and the Punisher, The Devil's Trigger issue number 5. Kicking it over to DC, we have DC K.O. issue number 5. Absolute Superman issue number 17, and last but not least, we cannot forget about Batman issue number 7 by Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez. There's so many good releases coming out today. We're going to hang out with some friends, see what we can find, but first things first, we got to get ready for the day. It would not be New Comic Book Day without the outfit plus read of the day. First things first, you already know, it is absolutely gorgeous here in Nashville. The high is 75, and I want to take advantage of that. So I throw on a t-shirt today and I have my vintage TF2 Pyro tee with a pair of Levi cargos. For the shoes, I have on my Blundstone 558s. And then for the read of the day, I wanted to go ahead and read issue number 1 of White Sky by Image Comics. This is a brand new ongoing series following a post-apocalyptic world where apparently 5 years ago the sky turned white, and now Violet and her father are trying to travel to safety to San Francisco, where they're being haunted and hunted by ghosts. This sounds super interesting. I'm super excited to go ahead and jump on this first issue. I heard nothing but good things. So we're gonna go ahead and read that, and I'll get back to you guys afterwards with my thoughts. I just finished reading issue number 1 of White Sky, and I really enjoyed this first issue. If you're a fan of things like The Last of Us, The Walking Dead, The Road, or things like that in terms of post-apocalyptic stories, I really think you're going to enjoy this comic series, and I think this is going to be the next big post-apocalyptic comic series coming out on shelves. This follows Violet and her father as they're attempting to navigate through this world 5 years after the skies have turned white and the whole world is being hunted by these ghosts. And this is a really interesting concept, I think. I really enjoyed the art style and the pacing in this first issue, and also the dialogue between Violet and her father and this relationship that they have. You can truly see how they love each other and how they miss the rest of their family that we see this brief glimpse of in this first issue that I think we'll get some more backstory on and how they are not together anymore. I really enjoyed this first issue though, as I mentioned before. The pacing and art style feel really good in this first issue, as well as the dialogue that William Harms has wrote. I think this is going to be the next big series on shelves, but I would love to hear your thoughts down below on what you thought of White Sky issue number 1. If you guys remember on last week's video, I mentioned that I've been getting back into gaming a little bit, and I picked up a PlayStation 5 here recently. I've been really excited for Bungie's new release Marathon that comes out actually tomorrow on Thursday, but I got a chance to play the Server Slam over the weekend, which was kind of like an open beta for everyone to get a chance to play the game a bit early. This is a new extraction shooter that's coming out a bit similar to Arc Raiders, but whereas Arc Raiders is a third-person shooter set in this like kind of wild west apocalyptic future, the Marathon is a corporation futuristic world where you're exploring a totally new civilization on Tau Ceti 4 and working for these corporations as a cybernetic being, and every time you die your consciousness gets taken out of your body. A super wild and interesting concept, but got a chance to play and get some footage for you guys over the weekend and had a ton of fun. The art style of that game is absolutely incredible. I learned a few things about the game over the weekend that I really enjoyed, such as like when you kill someone and their loot falls down for you to kind of go through and pick out for yourself, you can learn some actually really interesting things by where the loot is and what it looks like. So it'll deteriorate over time. So if you're the first person to that loot, then it's not deteriorated at all. But say you're the second, fourth team to find that loot, it'll be deteriorated, so that'll kind of tell you a bit about the map and how the game is going, which I thought is super interesting. And then another thing I really enjoyed, the game has proximity chats, sort of like Arc Raiders, which is another extraction shooter. But with this game, there's the NPCs in the game, and they actually also talk to you and kind of trick you and lure you into a bit unexpected situations that you definitely are in for a treat, I would say. the least. I really enjoyed the game over the weekend, though, getting a chance to experience the server slam, but I wanted to share that footage with you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and post that up now, and let me know what you guys think.
Worth a look? Runners in play. This'll be fun. Gotcha.
Over the weekend, I finished reading Daredevil Back in Black, which is the first volume of Charles Soule and Ron Garney's run from 2015, and this was a fantastic read. So this actually introduces some new characters in the story with the introduction of a new hero, Blind Spot, who is the protector of Chinatown and is an immigrant from there. And he is a new hero on the scene, and as he is learning the ropes, Daredevil takes a liking to him and ends up becoming a mentor, and they build this unique friendship and relationship throughout this first volume that Charles Soule writes beautifully. He makes this perfect relationship work throughout and doesn't try to force this new sidekick onto Daredevil, but really shows that Blind Spot is his own unique hero with his own unique story, and I really appreciate that. Ron Garney's art style throughout this is amazing. It is so gritty and cinematic. It has this beautiful noir style, and I love the introduction of the black suit for Daredevil in this run with the red accents. I think it is amazing and is honestly one of my favorite suits for Daredevil throughout. We also get the introduction of a new villain in the scene with the introduction of 10 Fingers, and he literally has 10 fingers. It is honestly pretty freaking creepy, and he got his powers from the hand, and he is trying to create this new cult following, and Daredevil and Blind Spot are trying to take him down, and in the process of doing so, they end up having to protect 10 Fingers and his cult following from the hand, as the hand is trying to get their powers back and kill all of 10 Fingers' cult. And it becomes this really interesting story that plays out as Daredevil is left in this moral dilemma and doesn't really know what to do, and I think it plays out wonderfully. This is a fantastic first volume. Marvel last month released the entire run of Charles Soule and Ron Garney's Daredevil run from 2015 in these beautiful compact comics that are only 25 bucks a piece, so you can get all 3 volumes for roughly $75, and I think that's an amazing price point for what you're getting. As I mentioned before, Charles Soule's writing style is so fun. It is just so unique and fresh while also feeling familiar, but the introduction of new villains and new characters is super fun, and Ron Garney's art style is so unique and truly cinematic with his gritty style that I love. I cannot rave about it enough. I would love it to hear in the comments down below if any of you have read Charles Soule and Ron Garney's run of Daredevil and what you think down below, but this is fantastic and I highly recommend it to you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, it is about that time. We're about to head to meet Daniel for New Comic Book Day. Let's go see what we can find. Today is the release of Shadows of Maul, which is a prequel event to the new Maul series coming out. Daniel just sniped this beautiful McFarlane cover for X-Men 24. And then what do you got there?
Narco #1. Heard good things about it so far.
Ooh, I've also heard good things about Nectar, which is another #1 that came out today. We just got done at Dragonfly. Shout out to our LCS, and we were in the Nashville area. But Daniel, why don't you go ahead and show me your pool of the week?
It is unfortunately the ending of Beneath the Trees, issue 6. I don't want it to end. They definitely could do a lot with this. I don't know how it ends, obviously. So from last issue, I feel like they could do a lot with it, but I'm excited to see how it ends.
All good things have to come to an end at some point, but that leaves opportunity for something better to come along the way,
Yes, sir.
as we learn in life. My pool of the week, we have Shadows of Maul. I am super excited for this. This is a prequel event for the new Maul miniseries coming out on Disney Plus. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Darth Maul is probably my favorite character in Star Wars, right behind Boba Fett and Din Djarin. So super excited for this. And that is my pool of the week. Guys, we will catch you at home with our haul. I just made it back home, and as you can see, I have a tiny but mighty stack to go through for this new comic book day. I'm so excited for everything I've picked up this week, and this is a Star Wars themed new comic book day. As you can see, I dedicated the Star Wars Republic Commando gameplay in the background for this little haul. I'm super excited for this new Maul series that's coming out on Disney Plus this month, as well as the Mandalorian and Grogu movie this year. Super excited for that. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I've just always grown up that way. But let's get right into this haul, guys. Starting the stack off this week, we have a DC compact, and that is Nightwing Leaping into the Light. This is the first 2 volumes of Tom Taylor's run, actually, which I've heard nothing but good things about, and I've actually managed to collect the back half of Tom Taylor's run in single issues, but I'm so glad that they are releasing this as a DC compact now, and an easier way to be able to collect this amazing run from Tom Taylor. Coming into issue number 2 of the week, though, here we have, I am a huge fan of this new Matt Fraction Jorge Jimenez Batman series, and with that being said, I had to snag this Jorge Molina Joker variant when I saw it on the shelves. Coming into issue number 3 of the week, though, here we have, as I mentioned, it is a very Star Wars themed new comic book day. I'm a huge fan of Darth Maul. He is one of my favorite characters and probably my favorite Sith, honestly. And with that being said, I'm so excited for this new Maul miniseries that's taking place right before the new show that's coming out on Disney Plus this month. But kicking it into issue number 4, here we have, and last but not least, here we have Daredevil and the Punisher, The Devil's Trigger, issue number 5, the last issue of this miniseries. This has been a fantastic miniseries so far, and I had to snag this Peach Momoko variant whenever I saw it on the shelves. Guys, that is everything that I've picked up this week. Thank you all so much for watching. I cannot thank you enough for the love and support you guys have been giving me on my channel these past few weeks and months. I am so incredibly thankful for each and every one of you. You guys are the freaking best. We will be back next week for new comic book day, but in the meantime, I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing weekend. Enjoy some time with your loved ones and with yourself. Take care of yourself. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace.